As we have been discussing, that Nama Rupa is Jagata. So when we say Nama Rupam is Jagat, it means that the Nama means the name, Rupam means form. Even though both of them constitutes as a Jagat, as this creation, in reality they are subject to change, they falsify. And of course, they appear to be real. In fact, they are real in the level of transaction. So we call they are Satyam from the standpoint of Vyavahara. Whereas from Paramartha standpoint, from the absolute standpoint, they don't exist. That we have discussed in details, and let us not create any confusion in this regard. So while discussing this one after another, now the verse number 70 will be saying, let us read. Nama Rupatmakam Vishvam Indrajalam Vidurbudha Anamatvat Yuktatvat Iti Vedanta Dindima. So this Vishwam, the entire creation, the entire world, Nama Rupatmakam iti. So constituted by names and forms. No problem. But he says, this is like Indrajalam. So Indrajalam, if you want to translate, Jala means net. Net of Indra. In short, is a magic world. The story goes what it goes. When this God and demon, they do fight. So where they appear, where they disappear, very difficult to find out. Sometimes they will not be visible in the eyes of each other. So you need to have that sort of strength. So in short, called magic world. So a magician completely makes things appear, also makes things disappear. But very rarely you will find out a magician who can reappear, make things to reappear. Very difficult. Can disappear, can appear, can make things to appear, can make things to disappear. But after disappearing, ask the fellow again, bring it back. It will be very tough. However, let us not get into that world. That is different world altogether. He says, look, this universe, that which is constituted with Nama and Rupa, the name and form. And interestingly, this is exactly like Indrajalam, like magic world. So in magician, when does magic, will take help of one assistant, that too from public. So when, suppose you become assistant, now as you start lying down or sitting down, closing your eyes, different methods they do it. First thing what he will do, he will change your name. You say, look, now we are changing his name, now let us now respond. And interestingly, it will happen in such a way they do mesmerize. And which I have really once gone through very interestingly. And when I was really, spending some time with me, in the beginning stages, I wanted to, experience, I wanted to explore. I was shocked that when a magician does this magic, okay, called who can come. So as usual, I said, look, I am here, I come. And when I went there, made me to sit, first thing said, look, I am changing his name. Okay. Made me to lie down, blah, 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 whatever it did, let make it cut short. I'm trying to share the point here. And he announced, look, if I call his original name, whatever so-called name I had, he will not be able to respond. Even if all of you call, he will not respond at all. Whereas only he will respond to new name. You may believe it or not, exactly that happened. I was lying down. I was able to hear very clearly that they are calling my name. But I wanted to respond, but there was some blockage in me. I was not able to respond at all. But interestingly, when he called that new name, with the new name, I could respond. So this is a small example, live example that I have gone through, I am sharing with you. So how this magician is able to do or show, exhibit magic. And of course, you know better, so also our mind. Every moment, mind does its magic. Sometimes you know how your mind moves, what it does and what it does not do. So that's why here he says that, look, Viduhu Buddha, not ordinary people, only Viduhu, wise people. They know. So what do they know? They know that this Vishwam, this entire universe, Nama Rupatmakaiti. And because it is constituted by names and forms, and of course it is Indrajalam, like a show of a magician. And more than that, it is Anamatvat. So Anamatvat means the name is not there. Their names are not being fixed. And Ayuktatvat, because the name does not fix, they are just imposed. Then what happens? It doesn't deserve to be real either. So it is just a superimposition. So that's why one has to be little bit careful in this regard. Let us read the next verse. Aveda darshanam moksha samsaro veda darshanaha sarva vedanta siddhanta iti Vedanta Dindima. Very nice, it says. Aveda darshanam moksha. So wherever you see Abhedam, non-difference, there is no difference at all. There is no separation at all. there is mukti, there is freedom. Whereas Veda Darshanaha iti samsaraha. Such a beautiful statement. Wherever you see the difference, the moment you start seeing the division to be correct, see, seeing division, difference and indifference, you see the reality, truth is different thing altogether. But whenever and wherever you consider, you accept that the difference is the truth, difference is the reality. In fact, that is samsara. So samsara means life of becoming. So the sense of becoming becomes strong, becomes predominant without our knowledge. That time, wherever we consider that the difference is truth. If I don't look at the difference is truth, I don't create difference as something reality. If I don't give importance to the differences, definitely that cannot neither bind me nor that can push me to become something or someone. Because if we try to look at very nicely and carefully, I remember, let me share one beautiful incident. So there was a great Swami, and he was a parivrajaka. So parivrajaka means the one who does not stay in one place, keeps moving, but not wanderer, okay? So wanderer, vagabonds, they don't have anything. Aimlessly they wander. But here is a purpose. So parivrajaka, because many people will translate wanderer. It's wrong, because you have to be very careful with translation. However, so this parivrajaka, that's why we say parivrajaka acharya. Acharya goes for parivrajaka. So this parivrajaka, let us say parivrajaka acharya, who is on move, approached a village. In that village, all these boys, teenager boys, were very naughty. And the gang leader was none other than the son of a rich and good person. So this gang always used to create problem for others, create some nuisance, snatch away things, put them others into problem so that they can have their fun. So when they saw this parivrajaka acharya, they didn't find anything with him except two clothes. They said, what to take away from him? It's a big challenge. And of course the gang leader said, let us remove the dhoti, let us remove the dress. And they removed the dress one after another. Parivrajaka acharya also started moving naked. It made no sense, no difference to him. And all these boys making fun, shouting behind him because they were having some type of a joy out of it. And of course this news reached the father of the gang leader. And this wealthy and good person came quickly and of course handed over the cloth to the Parivrajaka acharya and fell on his feet. asked for forgiveness. That I am sorry, I have made a mistake because my son did something wrong with you. Really, on behalf of my son and all children, I apologize. That time, this Parivrajaka said, for what? You people they have not done anything to me. No, I didn't see anything. This is the point to be highlighted. I have not seen anything that they have done. I didn't consider that there is a problem, nor they are different from me. And when I have not seen, I have not really gone through, how does it matter to me? It is their problem, and it will remain with their problem. They have not created any problem to me. Just see this beauty of understanding. You can see this also with reference to your day-to-day behavior, day-to-day transaction. Wherever you see or create difference, starting with difference in opinion, there what happens? There the division leads to conflict, and you want to become something. The sense of becoming becomes stronger, predominant, whenever, wherever you create a difference. That's why the people, those who are capable of creating differences in their opinion, always they struggle to become. That's why the best example is in the television channels. Who sits in the panel to talk, to create differences? Always they have strong urge to become. And wherever there is sense of becoming, with reference to that, you are bound. The bondage and the sense of becoming both go hand in hand together. You cannot separate. I want to become something, but I don't want to be bound. It will never happen, and it has never happened either. So that's why sense of becoming is a very big thing to watch, to observe in my life. And he says, look, this aveda darshanam moksha, whereas veda darshanam is samsara. And where it is being taught? Sarva Vedanta Siddhanta Matahiti. It is not only in Vedanta, even in the Siddha literature. So this is the opinion. This is being established everywhere. All these teachings of Veda directly and indirectly. And thus, iti Vedanta Dindima. This is the proclamation of Vedanta Shastra. Let us read the verse number 72. Namata vinivesayitvat navasa visheshamatratah muktirvinatma vijnanat iti Vedanta Dindima. He says, look, Atma Vijnanat Bina Mukti Nasti iti Mukti Naha. So Atma Vijnanat Bina. So without that knowledge of self, there is no mukti, there is no liberation. But generally people highlight. So what do they highlight? They highlight that mukti can happen through different means, through different types of means, like matta vinivesitvat. So due to this religious practices, for example, a person will say, if you believe in my God, you will be liberated. If you practice this, you will be liberated. If you are initiated to my Guru, you will be liberated. If you do this, you will be liberated. If you will do that, you will be liberated. What we call as religious fanaticism. And of course, not only religious fanaticism, now this is Swami fanaticism. That's more dangerous. So each New Age Guru, they are fanatic. They talk, and nowadays each Yoga Guru, they have also their Gurudam, especially in West. Some healing, do this, do that, you cannot think of what are the mess they are creating. So each one has got their own pocket. It is like, we say in India especially, every regional party having few pocket votes, they think they can change the Indian politics. Sometimes they create a mess, but not successful. Finally, they will end up joining with the national parties. Because regional party cannot do much. Even though India is such a huge country, just to make it very evident, those who are Indian, they can understand. So here also same thing. All these small people, having few people in their pocket, they think they are doing the best job, they can bring change, and they are bringing change. Yes, I don't know whether it's for good or for bad. Definitely some changes are happening. However, he says, Matta Vinavesam does not bring liberation. Because you are following a religion, because you are following a certain type of practice, because you are practicing this or that, that does not mean that you are going to be liberated. Also, Bhasa Vishvamitra. Okay, I understand, but I am committed to language, especially Sanskrit. And of course, when I say Sanskrit, especially in India, Tamil Nadu, people will say, no, Sanskrit is secondary, Tamil is original language. They are very fanatic, especially Tamil Nadu people, you cannot think of. Now, each one of you can be fanatic about your language. The mantras, the prayers, only will be understood in this language, through this language. So that means, again, there is some type of fanaticism with reference to a given language. Remember, that also is not going to give you liberation. As we have said, discussed many times. Like English is a language, but it is not knowledge. If you know how to converse through English, yes, you have one language at your disposal. You can communicate more people, that's all. But because you know English, that does not mean that you are a knowledgeable person. Can you see this point? You may be be very good in your own language. But what people think, especially wherever these Britishers have ruled, they have injected this thought in every mind. I have seen in all over Asia and other places too. Unless and until you speak English, you are not a knowledgeable person. I am not telling you jokes. Europe also started this mania now. Few words, English word has to come in between. Then only the officers and other people starts respecting in public places. Have you not observed this? Which is a very unfortunate thing to see. However, so language is just for communication. But language does not give liberation. That is what is being highlighted here. Atma-jnanam alone gives me moksha. So if I am interested to be liberated, I don't have any other choice other than approaching for Atma-jnanam. Okay, if this is the case, then what is to do? What about other things? How these things should come? It's a beautiful verse, really nice. Nakamya pratisiddhabhi kriyabhi moksha vasana Ishwaranugrahat syat iti Vedanta Dindima. Iti Vedanta Dindima. Remember, this is the proclamation of Vedanta Shastra. To be liberated, I need to have wish. I need to have the desire to be liberated. My vasana is related to either artha, kama, or dharma. So my desire, my urge, my priorities only related to this. But why it happens? Why does not I develop the vasana for mukti, for moksha, for liberation? He says, look, remember, nor by any action, any practices, whether it is not following kamya karma, nor even prasiddha karma. Please understand, or you do any other karma to be followed, you are not going to develop the vasana, the desire for liberation. But the liberation for, if this is most important, liberation, the desire for liberation only can happen, only can take place Ishvara anugrahat eva. Only by the God's grace, not by any other means. That's why we say very carefully, even if you put so much effort, remember the vasana for liberation will not work, will not come. That's why without God, without bringing God in one's own life, to be very honest, one cannot be liberated. The God has to come. Very unfortunate thing. Many so-called enlightened people talk, highlight that Ishvara is not required. There is no Ishvara at all, which is very unfortunate to see, to go through. That's why we say very carefully, Ishvara anugrahat eva. Why? Because Ishvara anugraha, the blessing of Ishvara, is to be tapped. As the grace, the blessing of Ishvara is available everywhere, like the water underneath. But we need to tap it carefully. Only when we tap the water, the ground water is available for our uses. So also Ishvara anugraha. And without humility, without sense of gratitude, without all these universal values, will one be able to cultivate or develop Ishvara anugraha? It is almost impossible. And without Ishvara anugraha, how can one be liberated? That's why we play very carefully, bringing Ishvara in one's own life. In short, if you do not have healthy attitude for karma, means karma yoga. If you are not a karma yogi, remember, Vedanta is not going to work. Vedanta becomes a philosophy for that person, even though it is not philosophy. Vedanta becomes a philosophy for that person who has not lived karma yoga lifestyle. Without being a karma yogi, whoever starts approaching Vedanta seriously, deeply, remember, Vedanta remains a philosophy, an intellectual jargon. That's why many people turn themselves away from Vedanta. Not because of anything, but because they failed to remain or become karma yogi. And whenever you fail to become karma yogi, the understanding of Vedanta will fall down. In fact, because the understanding of Vedanta falls down, that's why you struggle or you complain with reference to karma yoga. Can you see this point? Iti Vedanta Dindima. This is the proclamation of Vedanta Shastra. More of it we will see some other time. Please close your eyes. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.